Good afternoon. My name is Joanna, and I will be your examiner for today. So, what are your names?
My name is Nefeli.
And my name is Madeleine.
Well, nice to meet you, girls. In this first part of the test, I am going to ask you some personal questions. So, Nefeli, who are you most like in your family? And tell us a few things about him or her.
I look like my mother in appearance, but I look like my father in character because my father knows very things about computers and he likes new gadgets and I like new gadgets. And he loves reading and I love reading books.
Okay. Now, Marilena, tell me, do you like reading? And what do you like to read?
First of all, yes, I like reading. And I mostly read fantasy books, and especially books, like series of books with sequels, because I like this feeling of suspense when you don't know what is going to happen in the next book.
Okay. Now, Nefeli, tell me, do you have a best friend? And what do you like about him or her?
Yeah, I have a best friend. My best friend her name is Natalie. And we have been together since we were at nursery school. And we can spend many hours speaking to each other for many different topics, and we have the same interest. Both of us like drawing and etc. She likes animals, birds.
Okay. Now, Marilena, a final question for you. Where would you like to go for your next holiday and why?
For my next holiday, I would like to go to Milos. Because there it is my grandma's village, and I usually go every year, but last summer due to COVID I didn't have the chance to go, and I'm looking forward to going this year.
Okay, I can totally understand you. All right, girls. Let's move on to the second part of the test now. In this part, I am going to give each of you 2 photographs. I would like you to talk about your photographs on your own for about a minute, and also to answer a question about your partner's photographs. So, Nefeli, you will be candidate A, and Marilena, you will be candidate B. Look at your photographs, Nefeli. I would like you to compare the photographs and say what might be good for the students about learning in these ways. All right?
Okay. In the first picture, I can see some students searching for information in books, magazines, or newspapers. And in the second picture, I can see students searching for information on the computers. And I think it is good, in the first situation, it is good because they cooperate and they learn to work as a team. And in the second situation, it is good because they have the results more quickly and more easily, and they can save the results or copy them.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Now, Marilena, do you prefer learning things on your own or with friends?
When it comes to preference, I prefer learning things with my friends and like studying together. But I think that I learn things more focused, like deeper when I am working on my own. Because when you are with friends, you can get easily distracted and not pay too much attention to what are you trying to learn.
Okay, thank you. Now, Marilena, take a look at your photographs. They show friends having a day out together. I would like you to compare the photographs and say what the friends are enjoying about their day out.
Okay, so in the first photograph, we see two girls jogging or walking at a fast pace outdoors. And in the second one, we see two girls again walking together with bags from their from shopping, and they are probably at the center of the city. In the first one, they are like doing physical activity, and it's a nice exercise, a nice activity to do, to keep fit and have fun with your friends. And in the second one, they are shopping, they're having fun again, but in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Nefeli, which of these things would you prefer to do while on a day out?
I think I would prefer the activity with the second picture because I love going shopping, or I like going to a cafe, and I enjoy chatting with my friends.
Okay, Nefeli. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's continue with the third part. I would like you to talk about something together for about 2 minutes. Here are some reasons why many students go on school trips and a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task. And now, talk to each other about whether it's a good idea for students to go on school trips.
Okay, I think it is very good idea for students to go on school trips because they learned about the world. And this is very important because if you learn, it is very interesting to learn about the culture or the history of another country. What do you think about that?
I agree with that, and I also believe that learning things while having fun in school trips is a more interactive way to learn things, and it can actually help the students with their lessons. And so they do better on their homework, on their lessons in class, on their assignments. What do you think?
Yeah. What is your opinion about doing something different?
I also think that this is a very good reason about school trips and field trips, because students get to get out from all this routine on sitting on a chair and just looking at the board, and they can do something different, as you said, and have some fun, learn something new. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. And entertainment is very important for a school trip because if the trips are entertainment, students want to go on the trips, and it is very important.
And they also get the chance to get on with people, don't they?
Yeah, sure. And they meet new people, they make friends, and it is very important to be socialized, the kids. But help with lessons is very important too. What do you think?
I agree with that. As I said earlier, I think it's a very valid point, helping with their lesson. For example, if they go to a history museum, it can help with their history classes, and so on with natural history museums and biology, and so on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, girls. Now, you have about a minute to decide which two things are the most important for teachers to think about when they organize school trips for their students. So when you're ready, you can start.
Okay, I think teachers should think that the trip should be helpful for the lessons because the students have fun and learn something very important in the trip, and I think the trip has to be educational. What do you think?
I agree, and I also believe that it's also a great idea to do something different. The students do something different and they get off with all this routine. They don't just spend another boring day at school, but they get to do something different, something they enjoy.
Okay, all right. Thank you. And finally, let's go to the fourth part of this examination, in which I'm going to ask you some more questions. So, Marilena, do you think school trips should take place on school days or at the weekends, and why?
I believe that school trips should take place on a school day, because weekends are like day offs of students and they shouldn't spend it on another learning day, because school trips usually have an educational purpose and it's lesson just in another way, a more interaction and way with more interaction from the students.
Yeah, sure, I can see your point. Now, Nefeli, if you go on a school trip, is it better to visit the city or go to the countryside, and why?
I think it is better to go to the countryside because there the students will feel free because there aren't cars or motorbikes, and you can do more things on the countryside. Something like you can go for a picnic, or you can climb on the trees, and I think it is more fun to go to the countryside.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Marilena, what can students do in class after going on a school trip?
Well, they can discuss what they learned at the school trip, and if the principal and the teacher agree, they can get to decide and plan their next school trip, where it will be, and have a nice discussion about that.
Okay, fair enough. Moving on, Nefeli, what is a good place for students to visit here in Greece?
I think it is the Acropolis, because the Acropolis has an architectural importance, and its history is very interesting and important too. And all the people who has visited the Acropolis are impressed.
Okay, yes, of course, they should know. I mean, all tourists come here to Greece and they visit the Acropolis. We should have visited for sure. Now, Marilena, let me ask you something else. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
I think I would go to Germany because my dad's uncle lives there, and he had told us about a few places that I would like to visit. For example, there is like a national park, but it's flowers, all flowers, and I would really love, and trees, of course, and I would really love to go and see that. And I also would like to go to the Wall of Berlin to see it.
Yes, okay, thank you. And the final question for you, Nefeli. What is the most interesting thing about visiting other countries?
I think it is going sightseeing, but tasted other food, their foods, their traditional foods, or learned about their customs is really interesting too. And I think go sightseeing is the most interesting.
Okay, so thank you, girls. This is the end of the test, and I wish you good luck with your results. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.